I want to tell you the most frightening story that's ever happened to me in my life. But first, before that, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever woken up and you couldn't move? You were paralyzed? You were awake, you could see, you could look around, but you couldn't move your body? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. In fact, it's happened to me on multiple occasions. And the very first time I remember sitting on the couch, falling asleep, just taking a midday nap, and then hearing in the background my kids, opening my eyes. I could see everything, but I couldn't move. It was pretty frightening at the time, but not as frightening as this story I want to tell you. You see, sleep paralysis has a lot of explanations. After this incident happened to me, I posted about it on Facebook. Different people had different experiences. And when I looked it up, about 8% of people do experience this. So I want to know, has this happened to you? My scariest story ever. Wait, before I get to the scariest, let me tell you the second scariest. I was laying in bed. I fell asleep. I woke up. Again, you can't move. You can see. And it's nighttime. About midnight, I remember. And when I looked around the room, I realized, oh no, I can't move again. It's a sleep paralysis. This feeling is indescribable. And as I looked over to the left side of me, I was sleeping with Tara. I could see this. The best I could describe it as is this dark, smoky type figure coming up on the other side of her. And all I could do is sit there paralyzed, not being able to move, terribly frightened. And after it came up, I think I fell back asleep. I don't know what happened. But throughout the night, it happened to me 3 more times. I had a total of 4 times. I woke up, couldn't move. A second time, I woke up and it was at the foot of the bed. I looked down, same exact thing. It started raising up, coming up, and just sitting there looking at me. I didn't feel anything, but it was a darky figure. It's the best I could describe of it. And the other 2 times, I woke up, I could see, but I couldn't move. Now, I couldn't enter that bedroom for 3 days after that. I was terrified. Nothing touched me, but not being able to move and see these things, I had no explanation because I don't believe in ghosts. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was real. I was awake, my eyes were open, I couldn't move my body. And after I couldn't enter that room, even to change my clothes. I couldn't go in there and get clothes. During the daytime, I was absolutely frightened. Now, that was really scary. In fact, Tara, my wife, she could not go into the room either with me, even though she didn't experience it because she was terrified because I was so terrified, right? All right, let me flash forward now to the scariest experience I had. Now, having multiple kids, babies in a house, you don't sleep too well. And there would be oftentimes a circus in the middle of the night that we'd switch beds. One child crawls into the bed. I move, I go to another bed. And that's what ended up happening. I went into the spare bedroom we had. And I remember laying down. I was asleep. It was fine. Everything was fine. There's no indication that anything bad would happen. I wake up in the middle of the night. And I look over. And my hand is dangling off the bed. I kid you not. There's something on the other side of it. Here's my hand. Something else is grabbing me like this, and I'm paralyzed again. As soon as I wake up, look around, I have that feeling. I can't move my arms, my legs, nothing. In my hand, I look over and I see my hand hanging off and being held by something else that's clasping it like this. And it's like when you were a kid and you would do mercy, you would grab somebody else's and see who was stronger. That's exactly what was happening. It was pushing me back, and I couldn't move my body, and I tried everything to muster to push back as hard as I could, and I couldn't. And all I could do, during sleep paralysis, you also can't talk. You can't call for help. Because I remember trying to call for Tara's name, saying, Tara, Tara, but I couldn't. All I could do is make this growling sound. It was, that's exactly what I did to scare this thing away. Because all of a sudden, I could see a face, and it was different. It wasn't smoky. It was a lot more, it was more real, looking just like I am right now at myself, but it was terrifying. And as it starts squeezing and pushing back, and I can't push back, I just look at it, I go, ugh, like that growling noise. And all of a sudden, it disappeared. The feeling stopped. I came out of it, and I couldn't deal with going back into that room again. I was so scared. I told everybody I knew about it because I'm like, I gotta know, is anybody else experiencing this? And then a friend had reached out to me telling me about Jinn. Do you know what Jinn are? Well, they're these creatures that live parallel with us, but we can't see them and necessarily interact with them. Now, they're not good or bad. They're kind of like humans. They have choices. And these Jinn sometimes are mischievous and they just play with us. My friend had these incredible stories of him growing up, and he's part of, in their culture, in the Muslim culture, they deeply believe this. And in fact, it's in the Quran, they talk about it. And he had crazy supernatural stories about things being flung across the room, him being pushed out of the way, dealing with it while his father's in the same room. And he had endless stories. And honestly, it didn't make me feel better. It scared me even more because now I'm like, oh, there's some real substance to this. This isn't just like in my head. This is a real thing. And to this day, I still don't know where I fall in the belief of it, but I had another friend give me this little statue, a necromancer. And he said, put this in your room, this will protect you. And I did. And it still stays in the room I sleep in. I've not had an incident since. And I'll be honest, like bringing this up, talking about this, sharing this with you, it sort of scares me that I'll have another incident, but I had to get this out because it's 100% the truth. And I'm so curious if other people are experiencing this or not. Have you heard of Jinn? Do you believe in Jinn? What do you think sleep paralysis is? When I go to Google, there's a lot of different explanations, but there's no explanation for that feeling that I had of seeing these creatures. Yeah, just saying that my mind is playing tricks on me, I felt this one. If it was just seeing things, okay, I guess I could just buy that and sort of be okay with it, but I hate the feeling. When I felt this thing playing mercy with me and I couldn't push back and all I could do is just growl, I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it because if this ever happens again, this is the only thing I'm really scared of in life. I'm not afraid of getting into a fight. I'm not afraid of a lot of just probably normal things other people would be afraid of. I'm not. I just don't have a lot of fear. But Jinn, sleep paralysis, that terrifies me. Let me know if you've experienced it. Keep moving forward.